we have to lose the expectations of like, all right, well, that guy's a famous porn star and he's doing this. That must mean it feels good for him. I should be doing that. So it should feel good to me, and this is where a lot of expectations are built. And then when the reality sets in of actually being with a partner realistically, and that feeling, it doesn't feel that great when you do that thing, or your partner isn't as receptive, you feel these insecurities come on, right? And then a lot of insecurities themselves lead to dick-related concerns, such as premature ejaculation or delayed ejaculation. A lot of it does come about from anxiety, uncertainty, lack of knowledge of oneself or around sex in general.
Welcome to What I Love About Sex, where some incredible guests and I, Steph Kanowski, will be bringing you the tools for improving your sex life with topics such as sex issues with your partner, sexual self-confidence, premature ejaculation, sexual shame, masturbation, sharing your fetishes, orgasmic pleasure, and more. Sex is still so taboo, and I personally believe that by improving our understanding and communication skills around sex, we can enhance our own self-pleasure as well as deepening our long-term romantic relationships. So listen in, try to stay open-minded, and let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today's topic is on delayed ejaculation. I want to leave you guys with something you can try in order to help yourself come sooner than you are right now. Because, if you struggle with delayed ejaculation, it's not fun. I know a lot of guys tell you they wish they had your problem, but you know how frustrating it can be to not reach an orgasm in the time frame that makes the most sense to you and your partner. So definitely want to help you with that. My next masterclass on November 8th, so it's coming up in a few weeks, is all on delayed ejaculation. I'm going to be telling you the 5 blocks that keep you from ejaculating, the 5 main blocks that I've seen in clients. I'm going to explain to you the 3 things I highly recommend you do to come faster during sex and feel more in control of when you come. And I also am going to share with you what needs to stop during your sexual experience and what you probably need to start doing so that you can feel fully relaxed and actually be able to let go during sex. And that's all going to be on the masterclass. So if you have not yet registered for November 8th's masterclass, check out the registration link in the bio and you could sign up right now. It's in the description of this show. So even if you can't make it live, you'll be able to access the recording. All right, so diving into this episode, something I want to share specifically with all of you guys that I'm going to touch upon in the masterclass and provide some other tactics along with this one. This is a really important one. It's really helpful because before I explain to you what it is, I want you to understand how communication is lacking so often during sexual experiences and that's partly because we don't know our own bodies. And I think that, in my opinion, men are even less aware of their own bodies because they don't really talk to their friends about their bodies as much as women do. Overall, I would say they don't have they don't have as many in-depth discussions about personal things as women do overall, right? That's like a general understanding that guys don't talk enough, and they don't. Therefore, especially when you first get into your knowledge of sex, what do? You start with porn, right? You just go to porn, you start educating yourself that way based on what you see, and then you set certain expectations for yourself. And then it's immediately going into this whole world based on what you think you should be doing in order to be the best versus what brings me pleasure, what feels good to my body. So that's what I'm trying to help you guys do, is get more in tune with what feels good to your body. Because it's not going to be the same as the guys you see in a porno, right? We have to lose the expectations of like, all right, well, that guy's a famous porn star and he's doing this. That must mean it feels good for him. I should be doing that. So it should feel good to me, and this is where a lot of expectations are built. And then when the reality sets in of actually being with a partner realistically, and that feeling, it doesn't feel that great when you do that thing, or your partner isn't as receptive as the porn star, female star, then you start resenting porn and you start questioning what sex is supposed to be. And then you feel these insecurities come on, right? And then a lot of insecurities themselves lead to dick-related concerns, such as premature ejaculation or delayed ejaculation. A lot of it does come about from anxiety, uncertainty, lack of knowledge of oneself or around sex in general, this obsession with focusing on your partner's pleasure and not knowing enough about your own pleasure. These are all things that psychologically create anxiety and prolong your inability to ejaculate during sex. So this is more the psychological aspect of it. And I know that some of you guys are on medications that their main side effects are delayed ejaculation, and that's pretty common too. When it comes to that being a physical roadblock, I want you to definitely talk to your doctor to see if there's any other possibilities of what you can use to treat yourself without it messing so much with your ejaculation. Sometimes there are other options, so it's worth having the conversation if you feel like this is entirely coming from this side effect of a medication you're on. But regardless, even if you are on a medication, there are things you can do psychologically to help you understand your own arousal system, understand your desires more clearly, help you communicate better with your partner. And when all of this is done, you will find that you're able to relax more during sex. You're able to be more in the moment during sex. You're able to have a better higher awareness around your penis. And I know that may sound weird. It's like, of course I'm aware of my dick. Like, what do you mean? But you just start knowing what feels really good, what doesn't feel that great, that you just have put up with all these years because you're like, whatever, that's part of sex. I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like, it's okay. But there's not a lot of people experiencing full pleasure. Just based on the conversations I have with guys on a daily basis, I can tell. Because I can tell a difference between the guys that are like, it was so intense, I've never felt something so amazing, and how they explain, an orgasm versus most men that are just like, orgasm's an orgasm. Like, it's not having the knowledge of what really turns them on or what really sets one experience sexually apart from other sexual experiences. So the tip I want to give you today is to help you get clearer on what makes you feel really good and how you can communicate that with your partner. So this tip is using a rating system on a scale of 1 to 5. And if you've ever worked with me one-on-one, you know that I love doing scales and rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, right? That's always what I do. It's either 1 to 5, 1 to 10. And it's a way for you to realize, all right, if I was to put this on a scale, where would I be? And if I was to move up one notch in this scale, what action would I have to take to make sense of moving up that notch? So what I want you to do is use a scale 1 to 5. And I want you to tell your partner about this so she's aware that you're doing this and she understands, because she's going to play a role in this too. And I want you to start using this 5 scale system. By 1 is like, it feels okay. 2 is, all right, that was pretty good. 3 is, wow, that was good. 4 is, that was really good. And 5 is, holy fucking shit, that was amazing. So see how I'm differentiating each number by it increases in pleasure, right? Pretty much what I just did was sharing the increase of pleasure based on the number 1 to 5. 5 being, holy shit, that was incredible. 1 being, it was all right. I don't know. Not that great. And if it's horrible, then it's not even on the scale. That's something that you just obviously communicate with your partner, like, I never want to do this again, right? So what I want you to do, if you were to use this scale, you would share with your partner before sex or even have a conversation after the next time you have sex and ask if it would make sense to do this rating system. Tell her, hey, I really want to get clearer on what feels really good to me during sex with you. And I would love for you to give me your ratings too. And this doesn't have to be rating sex as a whole, but it's more so like the certain things you guys do. Like say, and this can be something, sorry, I'm going a little all over the place, but bear with me. This could be something you do just by yourself that maybe you don't communicate yet. Maybe you just communicate it with yourself and you just think like, all right, when she was stroking me firmly like that, which she hasn't done in a while, that felt really good. It was a little tighter than usual. She was going a little faster, and I think that doing it tighter and faster really put me at a 4 out of 5. That's definitely worth sharing with her that I really enjoyed that. Like that felt really good. And maybe you have this rule where it's like, if it's above a 3 rating, you share it with your partner and say, hey, just so you know, that felt really good. I would love if you would do that again. That was really good for me. So what you're doing is you're giving yourself feedback because the rating is making it more intentional for you. All right. And here's how I would do it. If you're just starting out, I would say next time you have sex, think about something new that you tried or something that stood out in the sexual experience. And maybe it's the way she looked at you. Maybe it's something she said to you that really turned you on. Maybe it's the way she touched you in some way, whether it was like a scratch, a slap, a stroke, whatever. Maybe it was the way she kissed you, right? Like just something that stands out to you, whether it's good or bad, and then put it on the rating scale. And then ask yourself, was there anything else that like stood out from this sexual experience? Put it on the rating scale. And if there's something on the rating scale that's a 4 or a 5, tell her, hey, I really liked this. Like this felt really good. And that way you're telling yourself, hey, I really do like this. I didn't realize how much I liked it. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. And you're informing yourself, you're educating your own self around your body. And then you're also communicating it with your partner so your partner knows next time to do that thing more. And before you know it, with this awareness that you have in yourself and the communication you have with your partner about it, then she's more likely and you are more likely to make these types of things happen because you know that's where your stronger desire now lies because you realized how much pleasure it brings you. And you're no longer settling for just sex as it is, right? Like you're actually looking to experience more pleasure in your sex life. And I find that working with men, especially with delayed ejaculation, they have this lack of knowledge. You guys have this lack of knowledge around your pleasure points. And you're just like, oh, well, yeah, sex is amazing. And then I'll say like, what about sex for you is amazing? And it's like, oh, when she comes so hard. No. What about you? Like, what about your own pleasure? Like, what do you like? Do you like light strokes against your skin? Like, do you like when she jerks you off really hard or like more soft? Do you like when she spits on it? Like, do you like when she uses maybe a feather and like tickles you somewhere? Does that feel really good? Do you like when she massages a part of your body before she gives you head or climbs on top of you? Like, do you like when she breathes really heavy in your ear? Does that turn you on? Do you like dirty talk, whether it's talking to her talking to you, or you guys role playing together? Do you have a certain fetish where maybe you bring an object into the play that really gets you going and turns you on? And finding out these different things and playing around with different experiences is how you really unleash your pleasure. And so many guys just live for having sex like just for her pleasure. And what this can do often is put pressure on the woman, where it's like, all right, like your pleasure is mine. Like, did you come yet? Does that feel good? Does that feel good? And this is when guys get in a habit of asking these types of questions that totally throw a woman off of her pleasure because you're not in the moment feeling pleasure with her. you're highlighting her, you're putting her on a stage and expecting her to perform. And, that's not fair to her either. I get that it's important for you to give her pleasure, and I love if that's what, your intention is, to make sure that she receives pleasure. I think that's a great intention. I think we should be doing that for each other, right? And doing that for each other in the sense that there's a mutual pleasure being shared, and we're both on the stage, and people are watching us. People are watching us fuck. But you know what I'm saying? And when it becomes this mutual shared sexual experience, that's when you get to focus on each other. And that's when you are both more present. And that's when you are more aware of each other's bodies and your own bodies. And you're more likely to communicate because you're having a better understanding of that pleasure and what feels really good for you. So yeah, I really think that this rating, putting your pleasure, finding the things that stood out to you in a sexual experience, rating them, and then taking those 4 and 5s and communicating with your partner how much you enjoyed them and how you would love to experience them again. And of course, I always tell you guys that if you're not having experiences that feel good or nothing is standing out, or maybe you're all at a 1, right? Then it's about having a conversation of like, hey, how do you feel about our sex life? What are your thoughts on our sex life currently? I'll share you mine. I want to know if you want to go first. And it's just having that talk of, hey, how do you feel about it? And then getting her perspective. And chances are it's probably going to match yours. If you're in this place where the sex isn't that great, or it just feels a little numb, feels a little like blah. And that's okay to be in that place. We're not always going to have amazing sex, but what helps us to have amazing, pleasurable sex is talking about it and calling it out when we're in these times of it not being so amazing. So even if you're not at those 4 and 5s, that just means you have a different conversation, which is, hey, like, what are your thoughts on our sex life? I feel like it's not where it used to be, and I would love to get back to this type of sex we had. Remember when we were on vacation in Mexico, or remember 2 years ago and we were having it once a week, but it was so great because I just felt so connected to you. And we would always talk about how great it was. Do you think we could get back to that? What are your thoughts on getting back to that? And just opening up that dialogue. So communication is definitely part of letting go, right? And part of that confidence in getting to know yourself a bit more, and also being able to share those parts of you vulnerably with your partner, and making it about pleasure and sharing in each other's pleasure. So this is going to be, I'm going to be talking about a bunch of these types of tactics in the DE Masterclass. So hope this helps you. And I hope you join the masterclass as well, so I can give you some other really good tips, because it's going to be great. And I know that even if you guys are on a medication and having a hard time, there are plenty of things you can do psychologically to help yourself get out of this place of feeling like the pressure's on and like you have to make it and you have to come in this certain amount of time, otherwise she's going to get mad or upset, and you don't know how to react to her upset or frustration. So I'm definitely going to cover all of that for you. I want you guys to think of sex as a pleasurable, fun act, all right, and intimate, that you look forward to, and not something that you avoid or get nervous about, right? So taking the pressure out of sex, putting the pleasure back in. That's my motto. So I hope to see you on the masterclass. Don't forget to register. The link is in the description. And that's it. Have an amazing morning, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon.
I hope this episode helped you. If it did, I would love for you to leave me an iTunes review. It would mean the world to me. You can also screenshot your favorite episodes and tag me on Instagram @StephKanowski. And before I go, remember, your sex life is as good as you make it out to be. Until next time.